how to find suppliers. I'm going to introduce you to 5 different methods for finding great authorized Amazon suppliers. Hi, Amazon business owners and soon to be Amazon business owners. Bob Schneck with you today. Very, very excited to be here. We have an amazing topic to cover today, how to find suppliers. I'm going to introduce you to 5 different methods for finding great authorized Amazon suppliers. Now, for those of you that know who I am and have been with us before, welcome back. Super excited to have you. I want to congratulate you on continuing that quest, that education for building successful Amazon businesses. For those of you that don't know me and you're the first time to our channel, my name is Bob Schneck. And a little bit of my background, I have been effectively and successfully selling online for over 20 years. Now, I know that kind of dates me, but I think it's important to point out that. Why? Because if you want to learn how to do something, you really need to learn how to do something from somebody that's already done it. And I would love to be the one to show you how to do it. For the last 5 years, I have been exclusively selling on Amazon, figuring out the best methods to build Amazon businesses. And I want you to understand what I just said. See, I'm not about just teaching you how to sell products on Amazon, because I think anybody can do that. But it's about teaching you how to build an Amazon business, how to harness the power of Amazon to build amazing lifelong businesses on Amazon that you can pass down to your family. As a matter of fact, over the last 2 years, I have had an incredible opportunity. I joined forces with a group of individuals who are Amazon selling experts and business building experts. It's Allgo Online Retail. And along with Allgo, over the last couple of years, I have had the opportunity to literally travel the world. I have thousands of students all around the country, all around the world, that I have taught how to build Amazon businesses. And again, anybody can teach you how to sell a product on Amazon, but knowing how to build an Amazon business requires skill, requires experience. And I'm glad that you've checked in with us today, because that's exactly what I'd love to show you how to do. Now, today, I'm really excited because one of the questions I get all the time from brand new beginners or even experienced Amazon business sellers is, how do you find good authorized suppliers? So I thought what I'd do today is go through 5 different methods that we teach at Allgo of how to identify and find authorized Amazon suppliers. So let me go ahead and shrink my picture down, because it's important that you see what I'm showing you here. So we'll bring that down just a touch. All righty. Okay, so I put together a little presentation here to walk you through. So let's cover some of the fundamentals, some of the basics getting started. First off, we want to find authorized suppliers. Now let me explain what this means. There's a retail chain, all right? It starts typically with the manufacturers. The manufacturers have a series of distributors or a network of distributors. The network of distributors usually have some wholesalers or some suppliers that they sell to, and then those wholesalers or suppliers go ahead and sell to retailers like myself and like you. All right, so an authorized supplier is someone who has received permission from the brand or the manufacturer to resell those items, okay? Name brand products. So again, I want you to keep in mind, our strategy here is we don't want to sell something that's new or unknown that we have to create a recognition for. We want to sell name brand products, products that you and I go to the store and buy each and every day, like Starbucks and Nintendo and Nike and Keurig, the stuff that manufacturers are out there marketing themselves, and we're just going to ride their coattails. So an authorized supplier is somebody who has received the authorization from the brand owner or the manufacturer, and when they've received that authorization, they in turn, when they sell it to us as third-party sellers, they pass on that authorization. So what we're looking for are suppliers that have that authorization that Amazon recognizes as authorized suppliers. So the different types of suppliers, let's kind of go through that. Number one, you have the manufacturer. Okay, so this is sort of the retail chain. You have the manufacturer, the brand owner. These are the people that make these things. They don't sell them in the open retail market. What they do is they have a network of distributors, literally across the world typically, and those distributors buy in massive quantities from the manufacturers or brand owners themselves. Now, the distributors have a network of wholesalers who they will typically sell to, and then those wholesalers will sell to their third party or their retail sellers, people like myself and soon to be you. Now, sometimes we can get lucky and we can actually go directly to a distributor. Now, I have another video that I go into great depths on how to actually contact all these different suppliers. So you're going to want to make sure you check that out. As a matter of fact, let me just switch gears for 2 seconds. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that right now. Just click the button down below that says subscribe, hit the little bell, and then that turns on what's called the post notification, and that way you can get notified whenever we come out with a new video. Also, I will be hosting a free online webinar this week. Now, I don't do these very often, and I'm telling you about it now, so if you're interested, you can click the button below and actually get yourself registered for it, lock up one of those seats, and what I'll be doing there is actually going through our business model. A time-tested, proven strategy, the very same strategy that Costco uses and Walmart and Target uses. And so I'll go into depth of how we at AllGo teach our students not just to sell products, but how to scale that into an Amazon business. Now, the other type of supplier that you might run into are what are called closeouters or liquidators. Now, these are the people that are typically buying last runs, the last stuff that's left in the warehouse of the distributor or the wholesaler. Now, those are great opportunities. There's usually typically high potential for a return on investment. The problem with you run into those are one-time things. So you buy a lot of them, you sell out, and it's done. So then we got to go try to find something else. Okay, so there is a place and time for that, but today we want to work on how to find suppliers that we can work with on a continuous basis. So I want you to understand one of the most important things about this entire process is this is a process and it's not an event. A lot of people aren't patient enough to realize that it's going to take a little bit of time to find and create relationships with great authorized suppliers. We're so impatient sometimes. We want it to happen right now, but that's just not a reality. So what we're going to work on doing is creating a list, a huge list of potential authorized suppliers. And then we're going to come back and we're going to begin to go through that list one by one. And we're going to begin to try to create relationships with the right types of suppliers for what it is we want to sell. As a matter of fact, I do have a whole nother video. It's called Vetting Suppliers. So once you've actually gotten your list of suppliers that you're starting to work with, and this is a continual thing, we're always adding to that list of suppliers. But there's a whole nother video that you want to check out. It's called Vetting Suppliers, and it's how do you actually know if these are the right suppliers for you. So how many suppliers should you work with? The answer to that is, well, it's kind of up to you. I will tell you this, 1 is not enough and 10 is probably too many. All right. So somewhere in that middle ground there, if you have 1, you just really lock yourself in. You're not getting competitive pricing. So you really do want to have more than 1. But if you start getting more than 10, I think you start to spread yourself a little bit too thin. I typically work with about 4 or 5 suppliers right now. I do have a database of a whole bunch of other ones that I look into all the time. So my suppliers do change over time. But again, we're going to create this big, huge list, and then we want to focus in. Now, obviously, you want to start by finding 1. But as soon as you found that 1 and it's working well, you want to continue that pipeline, right? You want to fill that pipeline with other potential suppliers and let that database grow for you. So here's 5 different methods that I like to teach our students about how to actually find great authorized suppliers. Now, each one of these 5 methods in their own right deserve their entire video. And I have actually created a video for each one of these different strategies that go into great depth. So this is kind of an overview to help you kind of get an idea of what are the potentials and what it is you want to start working towards. So the first one are what are called forms and databases, okay? Number 2 are trade shows. Number 3, the strategy of networking. Number 4, sourcing locally, looking in your local market. And number 5, GPS, using the power of the internet and GPS tracking to identify locations where a lot of different suppliers may be. So let me kind of jump into each one of these a little bit. Now, forums and databases are great places to get started because this is where suppliers are putting themselves out there. All right. In other words, they're putting themselves out there into these databases saying, hey, we're looking for new customers. We're looking for new retailers to buy our products. Now, there's a series of different forums and databases that are good. These are the ones that I recommend. Number 1 is one called wholesalecentral.com. Okay, again, great website, a great database where suppliers are putting themselves in there because they're actively looking for new retailers to sell to. Closeout Central is another database very similar to Wholesale Central. But again, these are where different types of distributors and wholesalers are taking and putting themselves, and they're saying, hey, we want new customers. So this is a great place to begin creating that list of potential opportunity. And then now this one right here, I've got to reserve this, okay, for our students. We have a database of over 3,000 vetted suppliers that we actually give access to our advanced students who go through our training. I do have a 16-hour online course that thousands of our students across the world have actually gone through, and in there I go into great depth. I also give access to different types of databases. I also have the opportunity to do what are called accelerator classes. So through Algo, every once in a while, usually once a month, we'll hold in some part of the country a 2-day hands-on training where we invite our students to come in and actually get that hands-on training, because you've got to admit, nothing replaces one-on-one, face-to-face, hands-on training. And I'll let you know more about that later. Trade shows are truly one of my absolute favorite ways to find suppliers, okay? Now, I want to give you a couple of different ideas here. 10times.com is a website online where it lists trade shows in virtually every city and every state of this country, even overseas and outside of the US. So if you know a subject matter, like you're interested in electronics or toys or foods or personal health and care, you can actually go to 10times.com and search for individual trade shows. But the trick to trade shows, I'm just going to tell you right up front, is knowing how to attend a trade show, knowing how to prepare for a trade show. Now, as an example, is the ASD show. The ASD show is one of my favorite shows. I never miss it. It's held twice a year. As a matter of fact, the next one is coming up towards the end of July, and I'll tell you a little about that here in a second. And then the CES show, the Consumer Electronics Show, that's typically held once a year at the first part of the year, usually in January, and both of those trade shows are held in Las Vegas. Now, the idea here is you want to go in prepped. Now, I'll just give you a little personal experience. I attended the ASD show for the first time 5 years ago when I was sort of on my own trying to figure all this out. And I walked into this building, and it was at the Las Vegas Convention Center, massive. There was over 3,000 vendors at this show. I walked in the door, and it was like sensory overload, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, where I was going, or how to approach it. And so the truth is, I walked out and I went and played in Vegas. But the point to that is I want you to go to these shows, but I want you to go prepared to these shows. You need to understand how these work. You need to know who you're going to see before you go in. Now, here is another tremendous opportunity. With Algo, we're actually holding a 3-day online retail summit in Las Vegas, the 3 days prior to the ASD show this year. Okay, so this is something that you'll learn more about down the road. It is exclusive to our students, but I know you're going to be excited about this. Now, I know you're going to want to become a part of our organization. But again, you might want to mark your calendar for July 28th through the 31st is the trade show itself, and our Algo Online Retail Summit is the 25th to the 27th. And this is where we're going to take you by the hand and show you how to master a trade show. All right, so we've got 2 days of amazing education at this event. And then the best part about it is we're going to take you to the trade show itself, hold you by the hand, and walk you through the trade show and show you how to take advantage of what these trade shows offer us, which is one of the greatest opportunities to find amazing authorized suppliers for Amazon. Trade shows are one of my favorites. Networking. Now, you've all heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And when it comes to networking, it's the absolute gospel truth. So as you begin to find your suppliers, one of the things you're going to want to do is figure out who they work with, right? Who else do they sell to? You know, because you might find a supplier that is great in outdoor camping gear and you're interested in selling outdoor gardening. Well, the odds are pretty good that they're going to actually have some contacts, some relationships. But the most important thing you need to understand here is, how do you build a great relationship with your supplier? Once you become a supplier's favorite, now they're going to do things for you that they don't do for their other retailers. They're going to tell you about other suppliers. They're going to tell you about other contacts. They're going to give you the names of the people. So it's who you know in this business that really has a big impact. So networking, again, you're going to learn more about how to network when you learn about how to create great relationships with your suppliers. Sourcing locally. This is something that a lot of people just miss out on. See, where you live right now, I almost guarantee you, because of the day and age, I call them the Shark Tank entrepreneurs, right? That means if you walk up and down your street, there's probably 3 or 4 people right now that in their basement or their garage are manufacturing or making great products. So what you want to do is, you don't want to ignore the stuff that's happening in your local market, and you want to get to start to know who these people are. So you want to go out there and you want to start searching in your yellow pages. You want to start searching online for local wholesalers, local distributors, and you want to go introduce yourself to them, and you want to go meet them. All right. And when I say this, you want to be professional. Make sure you go in, you're dressed nice. Make sure you go in and you introduce yourself as a reseller for online. You sell on Amazon, and that you're an Amazon business owner, and you would love to help them take their products to that next level. Show them how you can grow their business, how you can help them profit and make more money with your expertise as an online seller in Amazon. So don't forget about, or don't ignore the opportunities that exist in your local market. Now, GPS tracking is kind of the same concept. It's where we use the power of the internet, and Google Maps is usually what I use. And what you do is you start searching in Google Maps for suppliers or wholesalers in specific areas. Okay, usually what you'll find is there's an industrial area. And in that industrial area or warehouse area, you're going to find a whole bunch of people that do the same thing. They all warehouse. They're all suppliers. They're all wholesalers. And again, it's the type of thing where we want to use the power of technology to go in and find these different areas, these groupings, and then we can go in and begin to contact these people. Now, when I use this more often than anything is I travel a great deal. I don't take vacations anymore. I take business trips, if you get my drift. So last time I went to Florida, all right, it was a business trip just outside of Orlando, where Disney World is, if you know what I mean. And in that process, I always make them business trips. So I'll do some GPS tracking before I go to wherever it is I'm going. And then while I'm there, I spend some time searching out and sourcing potential suppliers. So again, there's a lot of different ways to go about doing this. The one thing that I cannot stress more to you is be patient. Okay, understand that finding great suppliers who are authorized to sell on Amazon, who can pass that authorization on to you, how to create great relationships with them, is truly a process, and it's not an event. But I will tell you, if you sit on the couch and you do nothing, this is never going to happen. The opportunity is out there for anybody, you, me, to go out and grab it and take it. But we have to have the courage to take action. So again, finding suppliers, 5 great ways to go about doing it. And I recommend that you start, but I also recommend that you start to look at the other videos that I put together, where I go into greater depth on each one of these different strategies and show you how to actually do it. But I'm here to tell you, this is one of the single most incredible opportunities of our lifetime. You don't accidentally become successful on Amazon, however. If you want to do or be something, find somebody that's done it, figure out how they've done it, and copy them. And I'm here to tell you that I am with one of the most amazing organizations, All Go Online Retail, where we have taught thousands of students around the world how not just to sell products, but how to build successful Amazon businesses. Now, I hope this video's helped you out a little bit. Realize there's more to it. Again, it's a process and not an event, and I want to be a part of that process with you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to comment down below. I promise you I will answer them within 24 hours. If there's any subject matter you'd like me to talk on, write it in the comments below. I'll put together a video just for you to discuss those concepts and those strategies and help you build a successful business on Amazon. Now, remember, subscribe down below so you get all of the latest videos. Number 2, I am hosting that free online webinar this week. Okay, 60 to 90 minutes is typically what we do. We do live question and answer, and all you have to do is click the registration button down below to reserve your seat. But remember, the seats go very, very quickly. Okay, so don't dally. Take action. Get yourself registered right away. And remember, the cost is absolutely nothing. It's free to attend the workshop. But I will tell you this, if you miss the workshop, it could cost you a lifetime of opportunity. So I'm Bob Schneck, so thankful that you took time to spend it with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the future.